Good evening from Indonesia.
Good morning from America.
So today we're gonna talk about the difference between USA and Indonesia.
10 big differences.
So what is it?
The first thing that I noticed was the bathrooms are so different in your house compared to America because you have a wet bathroom and we don't have that in America. At least I've never seen it. So for anyone who doesn't know what that means, there's like to shower in a wet bathroom, you have a big tub of water and like a little bucket, and you scoop the water and you pour it on your head. There's no adjusting the temperature. However cold the water is, that's the temperature of your shower. Well, in public bathroom, I will say in Indonesia, anytime we go in the mall or a movie theater, most places I would say there's an employee in there watching people go to the bathroom. And in America, we don't have that. And so like one time we went to the mall, this guy, like he was watching me so closely that as I was closing the door to the stall, he was like smiling into the stall at me as I was closing the door.
Really?
Yeah, so creepy. But usually in America, we don't have like someone working in the bathroom like that.
So is it good thing or bad thing?
Well, it's good because it means that usually the bathroom is so clean. If there's a mess, he cleans it up right away. But
Right.
I don't like it because it makes it uncomfortable to go to the bathroom.
Okay. So number 2.
Number 2, parking fees anywhere. In Indonesia, anywhere that you go, you have to pay the parking fee. In America, you don't always have to pay a fee. Sometimes there's a fee, like especially in a big city. For the most part, usually you can find free parking if you want to. In Indonesia, even if there's no meter or even if there's no employee there, there is always just a group of guys standing around everywhere. And if you park, somebody will come up to you and demand money. So anytime you park, you'll have to pay.
That's true.
And sometimes when you arrive and sometimes it's when you leave, but they'll get you. Number 3 is driving and traffic. In America, the steering wheel in a car is on the left side and the passenger sits on the right, but in Indonesia, it's the opposite. So the driver is on the right, passengers on the left, and even same with driving, you have to drive on the right side of the road. Or I'm sorry, on the left side of the road, but in America, you drive on the right. And then there's like a lot more motorcycles. So if you're driving, you're always surrounded by motorcycles. There's always a few in front, behind, and all around you. But in America, like you could drive all day and maybe you don't see any motorcycles, or you might see one motorcycle. Yeah, so that's a big difference. And in America, the way people drive, it's more guided by the rules and lines on the road and things like that. But in Indonesia, you can just like go. If there's 2 cars driving, like if there's and you have those lanes on the road, right? You have some white lines on the road. So here's a lane and here's a lane. In America, that means there could be 2 cars driving there. But in Indonesia, you can have 2 cars. And if a third car thinks he can fit in between, he's allowed to just go right in between, and it's not a big deal. And if there's not a car there, there's like 6 motorcycles filling up that space. So
6 motorcycles.
Yeah, and all those motorcycles have more than one person on.
Yeah, of course. Motorcycle is for 2 person.
Or sometimes in Indonesia, it's for 4 people.
Well, sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. So it's a little different.
A little different.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is number 4?
Different architect of house. So specifically talking about your house, it has one room that is partially indoor and partially outdoor, so that it's a lot of fresh air and sun, and you can hang up your clothes and let them dry there. But it also has like a roof, and if it rains, you can move under the roof. So we don't usually have that because in America there's 4 seasons. So like if we have a room like that, it might fill up with snow, or all the leaves from the trees will fall in there. So yeah, usually if we have a room, it will have a roof over the entire room. Usually it's not attached to the house. Like you exit the house and then you're in the backyard. But in your house, it's like you're still in the house, but then you just are in this room that doesn't have a roof over top of it.
Okay, next. Number 5.
At the movies, I mean, I guess every movie theater is different, but whenever we went in Indonesia, when you buy the ticket, they show you a screen with all the seats on it, and it shows which seats are available, so you can decide where to sit, and like you can see where other people are, so maybe you can avoid like a really crowded section or something if you want to. But in America, we don't have that. It's just you buy the ticket and then you walk into the theater and you look around and see where there's available seats and you sit down. I think some theaters, like, you probably can take assigned seats, but it's not like the normal thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and also I was surprised that they made you open your bag at the one theater and check to make sure we weren't bringing any food.
They don't check your bag in US?
Well, we're not supposed to bring food in, but I don't think they usually check. Like, if it's in your bag, usually it's safe. That's usually how people sneak it in, is just put it in their bag.
So we can like easily to bring the food inside.
Yeah, as long as it's in your bag, it's fine. But if you're just carrying it, they'll say you can't bring it in.
I hear that you can have a free refill for popcorn and drink in US theater or movie. Is it true?
Free refill? Well, it depends on the theater, but usually they'll do a free refill or drink for a large. So if you get the small, you probably can't get the refill, but usually if you get the largest size, then you can usually get it. But then it's so big that, like, you might not even be able to eat all the popcorn though and get to use the refill because it's so much.
Number 6. What is it?
Number 6, the weather. In America, we have 4 seasons: fall, spring, summer, and winter. In Indonesia, there's just 2 seasons, kind of, but I think it's mostly just 1 season. Right, so hot or summer and raining.
Yeah, summer and raining season.
But if it's raining season, it might not be raining. It might just be summer, like temperature and weather. So it's not too distinctly different, I would say, from the summer season.
Well, it's different though. When it's raining quite often than summer.
Right. So yeah, so rain's more often in the raining season, but temperature is still the same, right? 100 degrees Celsius.
100 degrees Celsius.
No!
Or I'm
No!
sorry, 35 degrees Celsius, like 100 Fahrenheit, I mean.
It's 36 Celsius in Indonesia.
Is warm all the time and hot, even in the raining season.
I remember when I took you to Atlantis Land and you feel like can't take it anymore, like after 3 hours? No, maybe 2 hours.
Yeah, the heat is like everything combined. Yes, it's like sometimes it's so hot and it's like, for me anyway, I mean, you're used to it, but for me, I need to like cool down a little bit. That's why I really like to hang out at the mall, because it's always has the air conditioning going.
So you love the mall?
Love the mall, yeah. It's always a good place you can go. Like I said, the air conditioning is there.
Okay. Number 7.
Number 7, socks and shoes. Usually in America, it's very common and normal for people to wear socks on their feet. It's pretty common and normal. But in Indonesia, nobody wears socks. Like, maybe the only time you would wear socks is like if you're dressed up for a formal occasion. But normally everyone just has either bare feet or flip-flops, like sandals.
Well, if someone going for like sport, exercise or something, yeah, they will use the socks, of course.
Oh, right, yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, because here in Indonesia, the weather is really warm, and when you wear the socks like all the time, it makes your feet warm and sweating and stinky.
Right, yeah, because it's not as hot here, so it's not too big of a deal to wear the socks. It doesn't make them all sweaty and everything. But even if someone's riding a motorcycle, they'll just have sandals on. And in America, that's actually illegal. You have to have a shoe.
Oh, right.
Be really dangerous, like to get some kind of foot injury driving around like that. Number 8, food. Yeah, lots of food difference. In Indonesia, always have rice with every single meal, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, anytime, any day, always ready to have some rice. And in US, like, we do eat rice. It is a common food here, but it's not quite as extreme. It's like maybe you'll have it with your dinner, or maybe you'll have it with your lunch, but you don't necessarily have it with every single meal all the time.
Well, we don't eat snack with rice, Ian. Just breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Not snack.
Okay, sorry. Well, just 3 times a day. Also, pizza was different, because you said that normally it's common to eat pizza with a fork and knife, right?
Oh, yeah. You know, I remember when I take Ian to Pizza Hut, and then when the maid served the pizza to our table, and then when we are about to eat the pizza, and I already take the knife and fork and about to cut it, and then Ian was staring at me like, what? And I was like, okay, I remember. And then I just put my fork and knife and just take it with the hand, bare hand.
Well, you just are supposed to grab it by the crust. You don't want to like put your hand underneath it and like hold it on top of your hand because then your hand gets all greasy. Just grab it by the crust at the end, fold it in half a little bit, and then you can just hold it by that and eat it. Like you don't need fork and knife, just one hand, nice and easy.
Yeah. Okay. Next, number 9.
In America, usually like we have $1 bill, 5, 10, 20, and everything is in smaller amounts. Like in Indonesia, it's like 20,000, 50,000, 100,000. So there's always a lot more zeros. So you have to be really careful because like one time I was supposed to give the cashier 20,000, but I only gave her 2,000 because I just didn't pay attention to how many zeros. I thought it was 20. Yeah, really be careful of that. And also the money in Indonesia, it's more colorful compared to US. In US, it's like all green. There's little bits of different color, like one.
Ours is purple. Like,
yeah, ours is like green. There's some color like that, purple 5 on the back,
right.
but mostly it's green. But each bill's like a little bit different. Like the 20 is a little bit more colorful, and then the 100 is like almost blue. See, if you look at 100 compared to 1, see the 100's like more blue, the 1's green.
Oh yeah, a little bit purple.
Yeah, but the rest of them are like mostly green, like the 1.
Do you know in Indonesia, if you have US dollar and you cramps the money like that, the amount of the money will decreasing when you exchange it? You know that?
No,
Yeah.
wow. Here, like even if I could rip this in half and just put it back together with tape, and it's still the same.
See here, if you do that with US dollar, they will just reject it and just no, you can't exchange this.
You know, I think they're all green, but it's easier to tell the difference between like 1, 5, 20, and 100. But for Indonesia, it's harder to tell between like 10,000, 20,000, 2,000, 200,000. So the colors help more, I think.
Yeah, it's the color is really helpful.
Because the numbers are too big.
It's big. Look at that. You
The
can
number-
see the number.
Well, I mean, they're too high of numbers.
Right. Just too many zero.
Too many zeros. Yeah, just take off some of the zeros. Make it nice and simple.
Yeah, that's true. Next is number 10. Public display affection.
Yeah, public display affection. So usually it's like in America, you might see like a couple holding hands if they're walking like out, or a husband and wife do a quick kiss. It wouldn't be rude if they did. Like they wouldn't be like making out in the park or anything. You know, not saying that doesn't ever happen. Say a husband picks his wife up from the bus station, they might just quick kiss. It's no big deal. But Debbie tells me that in Indonesia, it's like
No.
just hi, how are you, and like that's enough.
Well, not just hello, Ian. I mean, like, well, here in Indonesia, even your husband and wife, people don't usually kissing in public like that.
Not at all.
Like, not at all. People just hold hands or like hold the hips, maybe. That's all. Not kissing in the public here.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that kissing in public is common. I couldn't tell you, but the last time in general that I've really seen anyone kissing in public, it might happen here and there.
Right. Number 11 or the last one. What do you call that, Ian?
We use different numbers, like instead of miles per hour, in Indonesia, use kilometers per hour for driving.
Yeah, that's true. And for like weight, I usually say 40 kilograms. And when Ian said it, it's always in pound.
Yeah, and usually pounds.
And also the height, centimeter. Ian said
5 feet 10 inches.
And when I said about the temperature, I would say in Celsius and said in Fahrenheit. So sometimes it's confusing for us to know the difference.
Convert it or go on Google and check.
Well, okay. I think that's it for this video.
Thanks for watching.
See you at the next video.
And please hit subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.